So without further ado, we are going to bring on a very awesome guest, CaseStudyQB. I don't even know his name. So it's kind of like
I just didn't know he was ever going to put his face out in public. Like, I thought he was like
this is his last chance. You can
He's
jump
like the
off
Wizard
right
of
now
Oz.
because once I add you into the stream, there is no going back, baby. 5, 4, 3.
All right, bring him on. This is exciting. Hey!
Unmute yourself.
Yeah, what's going on, everyone?
Good evening.
How you doing? You can call me Case for sure. That's on my show. We do a Political Junkies every Monday at 8 p.m. I know you guys do a show too, but you know, much love to everybody.
But right now we're competing with Katie right now, who's
I know, right? It's so much
it is what it is.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, but you know what? I'd like to think that, you know, the Assange telethon that we did do probably did get a lot of traction because, you know, Case, I'm not sure if you how much of the live stream you caught when Jen and Katie hosted it, but it got to the point where I think it was Rania Kalik who called the Senate office, and the lady, she actually did it live, and the lady picked up. She's like, "Could you stop calling my office?" It's like, okay, well, it looks like we're doing something right.
Yeah, hey, that's awesome. That's what I like to see. I like to see more activism on the left and less drama. But, you know, that's another topic for another day, I guess.
Hey, listen, a lot of channels have been building themselves off of other channels. That's not what we do. We're about the nooks and crannies. We're about really getting stuff done. And, you know, we even said the other day, you know, the whole thing about the Medicare for All march is it's like, look, even if it's a little ragtag, at least they're doing something.
Yes.
You know, there are people who are just sitting on their hands like, well, we got to wait for the perfect opportunity.
No,
there is no perfect opportunity.
I agree with you.
Just do it.
So,
yeah, I'm so excited about
what are you
the Medicare for
up
All
to?
march.
You wanted to come on. You wanted to tell us about something important. So just tell people like who you are who don't know.
Yeah, so basically, I have a channel, CaseStudyQB, on Twitter, also on YouTube. Those are my main channels that I put a lot of focus on. And the main channel is the Twitter channel. And basically, I put out clips that progressives can use. And the main purpose of these clips is to hopefully educate us. And the way I see it, when I send a tweet, I'm talking to my progressive family. Like, if you're following me, you're part of the family. If I don't at you, then you're not in our discussion, you know? So I'm not atting, I don't at Biden. I don't at, you know, other politicians. I only at people that I want, like, you know, I would at, you know, AOC or any of the people who I would consider in our realm, even though there's people who, you know, say fraud squad and all that stuff. We have our different criticisms, but we're all trying to get Medicare for all. If you're trying to get Medicare for all, you're on my team. And that's how I see it.
Yes. Excellent.
So, Case, I'm curious, you know, obviously there's been a lot of this bickering back and forth and whatnot, but I do think it's important that we highlight, and I'm sure that, again, that's your primary objective. You know, we had Steve Donziger on our show recently in regards to his case against Chevron. And, you know, there was this big event that our good friend Jordan Cheriton covered for Status Quo the other day. And I have to say, of all the people that have been very successful, if you will, in the entertainment industry, there is no one with bigger cojones than Susan Sarandon. There really isn't. You know, she just kind of lets it fly in a really, you know, she does it in an eloquent way, but she doesn't hide the fact that she is very disappointed in some of the leadership in regards to, you know, what they're doing. And I'm curious if you've caught some good clips recently in regards to that, because I think that there was a lot that needed to be addressed as far as the whole Donziger case. It's just one that isn't getting a lot of you know, it isn't getting a lot of traction, but something that you definitely are adept at doing is highlighting stories like that.
Yeah, thanks for that question. And I forgot to finish my pitch, but basically I clip out mainstream media, mostly mainstream media clips. Every so often I might see, come across independent news because I try to watch everybody, and I would clip certain things that I think that, like I said before, people in our family needs to know about. That's when I would clip those specifically. But I haven't not seen any mainstream media clips on that topic. Jordan Cheriton did ask Susan Sarandon if the AOC or anybody or Jamal Bowman was going to help out with that issue, and she said that I understand right now AOC is out camping, you know, and God bless everybody. You know, you need to go and get a break and get some vacation, but there are issues that are very important, and it is in her neck of the woods. So we would love some help in that area.
Yeah, I think that the solidarity that is necessary when it comes to our primary issues is more important than worrying about, having the perfect result. And, really, again, I don't, we're not people who want to, look down or even critique anybody who wants to do the style that they want to do, because it kind of opens up a lane for us. Our focus is on the things that are important. I mean, as we've pointed out, we did call out Anna Kasparian specifically for what she said about Aaron Mate. I thought that was absolutely necessary. But once you get past that, you're just kind of spinning your wheels. You're just doing clickbait stuff. And that's what corporate media does. That's not what we're supposed to be doing. Do you find that that's the direction that we really need to take? Is, we need to separate ourselves from what corporate media does, which again,
I'll say this. I find I'm just like everybody else. I find it a hell of entertaining, to be honest with you. I'm the same guy. I was watching everybody's different views on all this different stuff. This is what I would say. Along with the sugar, we got to have the medicine. And in my fantasy world, what I would love to see, where everybody had their clips, at the end of their clip, I would love for them to say, hey, there's a new organization called March for Medicare for All. And look, there's one going on in almost every city or in various cities throughout the country. Please go out and sign up for it, volunteer, and also go out. I believe it's July 24th, I think it is.
Yes. The 24th.
Yeah, go out there and be activated as well. So, yes, people are going to do. I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their channels, but I would love, in my fantasy world, you have the entertainment, talk about the issues, talk about the different squabbles or whatever, the drama. That's what, we watch TV on, CBS or all this stuff for drama. It's just human nature. But along with that, if we can promote, and even if it would, in my super fantasy, it will be like Jimmy Dore and T.Y. and Cenk Uygur. They don't have to go to the same march, or maybe they go up at different times to speak, but like support the same effort. Wouldn't that be great? I know they're both for Medicare for All.
Yeah, I mean, we've been dealing with this for over 2 years now, and I say it all the time. The left eats their own like no other, and it's so. It really, to me, is like almost like a filter where you filter out the people that genuinely are working towards issues and people that are working towards either drama or just the betterment of their own channel and clicks or whatever it is. But I just feel like they need to grow up. Like, I mean, it's really no other, and I don't know if it's I don't know.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I believe somebody said, like, don't they have each other's numbers? Like they could just.
Well, and I gotta tell you, it also seems to be a guy thing, and really, it's like maybe it's just ego. It's I don't know what it is over there, but they need to grow up.
Well, we need to have more action oriented. I thought about, and I think when you came on my channel, Jen, we talked about what does the future of the progressive independent media look like? Because we have to prepare for 2024, right? We saw in 2020 and we saw in 2016 how the media was so pivotal in setting the narrative and just squashing Bernie, especially in 2020. How can we overcome the mainstream media, right? And I think one of the things that is so important for us is not only to collaborate, we need to collaborate more, which thankfully, one of the things with this issue going on, I've seen different people come together and they're talking. I'm hoping we could just move that energy now into action, and once we take that next step, that's when we're going to be getting prepared for 2022 and most importantly, 2024, when it's time to primary Biden.
Yeah. All right.
That's a very good point. We were talking the other day. I don't think Biden is going to be primaried, but I do think that there is a possibility, strong possibility, to be honest, that he's not going to run again. He did say that he wouldn't. And it looks like right now there is a lot of internal squabbling going on with Kamala.
You don't think he's going to be primaried?
No, because I just don't think he. I mean, honestly,
I think Kamala is going to get primary.
Yeah, I think this is a one and done type situation. I just.
Oh, okay, Biden, I see what you're saying. So you're saying he's not going to run again. You're not.
I don't know that he's going to make it through his whole term. My theory has always been he has to get at least halfway, because in their mind, otherwise it would count as her first term. So, the only way she could, and the truth is, I find her completely unelectable. But like in theory, the only way she would then have 2 additional terms would be if he got through at least half of this term. But I think that she is their next candidate, one way or another.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And I've also been very adamant that I do think that the path is pretty clear for DeSantis to win the presidency in 3 years.
And I honestly do not see a way in which somebody who could not win a single primary is going to beat somebody like Ron DeSantis.
I'm just not sure if the progressives, because honestly, I think the future is Nina Turner. I mean, knock on wood, and we'll announce this now. Jen and I are actually going to be meeting with a group of our super volunteers in Cleveland for the home stretch of the election, bringing home for Nina.
Okay, let's not lie about it. We want to be there on victory night. Okay.
No, but hey, listen. You know what? They're going to pull out They are going to pull out all the stops to try to stop Nina. There is no question that is what they're going to do. So if you do have the opportunity to get to Cleveland rocks, or Akron for that matter, this is definitely a race that we can't take for granted, because I do think that Nina is the heir to Bernie's "not me, us" movement. I'm just not sure that I don't think 2024 is realistic in regards to her building up enough momentum as a representative in order to go for the brass ring, if you will. I do think 2028, absolutely. But there's a lot of foundational growth that we have to do. And I know a lot of times people talk about, what is the best path? What is it that we need to do? I still think the most realistic path for us is to be involved at the ground level within the party infrastructure, meaning becoming a precinct committee person, getting other people to join, having a seat. Everyone's like, oh, you want to have a seat at the table. Well, actually, I want to make sure that we can actually put people in positions to win that are not going to be part of the corporate special interest.
Well, we want to copy Nevada. And you know what'll be interesting will be, like Peter said, that he thinks it was smart how Amy Vilela basically took off a session or took off a cycle and is running now. And it'll be very interesting to see how much better she'll do with the actual infrastructure in place that's not blocking her out. And I'm not all about electoral politics. I am very, very realistic. But I do think that until we handle the party infrastructures in our states, that we're spinning our wheels.
I agree with you. I think that Kamala would be the perfect person to primary, to go up against, right? So that's going to be interesting. And I would love to see Nina Turner. She's my number one, but I want to do what the moderates or the liberals do, right? What they do, they have a litany of candidates, 5, 6 different candidates, and let's see who floats to the top, right? Let's seriously see who gets up there. We saw Kamala. She was their number one pick, but she dropped like a rock, right? And was able to eventually get Biden, who beat Bernie. So I want Nina. Nina would literally, me personally, would be my number one choice. But I would love to see a Ro Khanna or other people. I know people have issues with Ro Khanna too, but people on our side of the equation, people who are for Medicare for all. I'll go back to that. If you're for Medicare for all, you're on my team. People who are for Medicare for all, seriously, not like an Elizabeth Warren way of Medicare for all. I'm talking about some serious Medicare for all stuff. I want them to run as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
But we got to know how to consolidate the vote, though. That's another thing. So,
yes. And again, I think, when we look at what transpired in Iowa, not just in 2020, but also 2016, I think it just speaks to the infrastructural issue that exists. It isn't necessarily the candidate, and you can have a candidate that's great and you really believe in, but if you're not building that infrastructure, I think it's very, very important. But I also think it's important that we really do highlight independent media, and that's where you come in, because so much of what corporate media does, I mean, I can't even listen to it for 5 minutes. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you even put up with it.
I can't watch it.
Yeah.
I can't.
If there is sort of like a method to your madness, I am kind of curious. Are there any particular? Let's put it this way. I think this would be a great question to ask, because I doubt you've been asked it yet. Who would you say, based on everyone you watch in corporate media, who is the absolute worst, biggest charlatan you could think of that absolutely unequivocally is the ultimate bootlicker of corporate power? And then on the other side,
Hannity, right?
No, not necessarily.
That's too easy. I'm not even going to go to Fox News.
Okay. All right.
I think it's
okay.
fine.
So
My vote's Brian Stelter, but I'm curious as to who you would say. And I'm also curious as to who you might think is somebody that maybe people aren't giving a fair shot to that actually is doing a decent job.
Man, these are very good questions. So let me first go back to like my evolution on mainstream media, right? I was one of those people watching Rachel Maddow and Chris Hayes on a regular basis before 2016, thinking that, you know, they have the left media, the left in mind when they do their news and everything. And it wasn't until Bernie ran that it really opened up the veil. You know, I wasn't super in a fantasy world where I knew I was thinking that they're going to invite, you know, Mike Gravel and Chomsky on their show. I didn't see that happening, but no, I thought to a certain extent, okay, they're on our side to a certain extent, right? And it wasn't until Bernie ran and you saw how they treated Bernie that I really understood, like, okay, these guys are not on our team. They're not on our side. And I definitely look at them differently. I definitely got turned off to watching them more. You know, I always watched independent media since 2008, but it definitely turned my stomach to wanting to watch MSNBC and Rachel Maddow and those people. So, all right, to answer your question, that's a very good question. Let me answer the second one first. I think some of the potential stars or the good people, you know, I think Mehdi Hassan is a good one that, you know, he could frustrate you every so often, but he at least he had Chomsky on, you know, the other day on the Peacock channel. And then who else? I think that Mel, man, what's his name? Mel Arbor? I can't think of his last name. Mel, yeah, I think is his first name. I think he. When I find out his name, I'll try to look it up real quick. Oh, The Beat. He does The Beat on MSNBC. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Unfortunately, this is your job because I can't deal with it. The one person who I will say though,
here you go, Ari Melber.
Ari Melber. Okay.
Melber. I'm sorry, Ari.
Okay.
But he does. He can frustrate you at times. And I'm talking about, we're trying to get the best out of MSNBC, right? You're trying to, so it's hard to really get the cream.
It's a low bar.
But yeah, exactly. Ari is a good. I think he has some good takes at times as well. But go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
I was actually going to say I do have to give, and I think MSNBC personally is worse than CNN. CNN is entertainment news. That's what it is. It's not real. But people take MSNBC seriously. The one person who I will say is pretty vocal about major issues like Medicare for all, living wage, jobs programs, things like that is Ali Veshi. He actually does.
Ali is a good guy too.
Yeah.
He would be my number one, actually, I think. Like, and then Ali, and then Mehdi. And then Ari. And then surprisingly, Joy Reid would like every so often mention, well, she did once, Medicare for all, after Bernie left and was nowhere in contention.
Of course.
Then she starts saying, you know, every so often she'll say something nice about, hey, it's a pandemic. Don't we need Medicare for all? You know, yeah.
Not a threat to the power structure, though. That's what it comes down to as much as anything else. And who would you say is the biggest? Okay. This person definitely makes my job more fun. Let's put it that way.
You kind of cut out a little bit, so you said
broke up, Peter. Yeah. We're having serious problems there.
Yeah. So just ask that question one more time.
I'm doing the best I can. I'm hoping and praying that our connection stays strong. Who would you say is the worst corporate media personality host that you have to cover that just absolutely delivers the worst of the worst when it comes to hot takes, I guess?
You'll be surprised. I'm not even going to pick a host. I'm going to pick a guest that goes on that I know, hey, this guy is on. I got to listen tightly. And that is Donnie Deutsch. Donnie Deutsch that's always on Morning Joe. He's on MSNBC.
Yeah.
You know you're going to get a hot take from this guy at some point. Well,
you know why he's like that? Because he, you know, and I hate to reference Jimmy, but he has Trump in his shadow. He really does. Like Donnie Deutsch is Donald Trump in just a different form. They're both cut from almost the exact same cloth. Both inherited a massive fortune from their father, and you know, act like playboys and think that they worked hard and everybody else is a lazy bum. He's such a Oh, his attitude is so terrible. But yeah, you know, listen, we would love to have you back. You obviously do a phenomenal job. You know, you get shout outs all the time, especially Kyle Kalinske. We see you on Secular Talk all the time. He really references you a lot. You know, we'd be more than happy to highlight anything you'd like on our show because, hey, look, you're doing a great job. You're doing God's work, my friend, because I know I can't sit through it for 5 minutes. I just cannot do that. And the fact that you are willing to help independent media and just the progressive movement in general get to the, you know, to the meat and potatoes of the issues with corporate media, I think is a really important service that you're doing. And we're obviously grateful that you're here, and we certainly hope that you'll come back. Yeah.
Before you let me go, I just want to, first of all, I'll just say that, that's my part of the ecosystem of the progressive independent media. I try to, like, I call myself the unofficial, I put in the ad, the unofficial producer for all the other shows. And that's how I contribute. You know, I do my one show a week, but you guys do the hard work and the grit of booking great guests and getting, having great conversation. And so I want to talk about the People's Gauntlet real quick. And that's the peoplesgauntlet.com or peoplesgauntlet.com. And that is basically an open source vetting system for candidates. And basically, a lot of times you see a candidate, you go to their website and you can see their issues page, but sometimes there's issues that are not addressed that you would love to know. And that's where the People's Gauntlet comes in. I'm hoping that candidates who are running, they will go to the website. There's 5 gauntlets. And so, for example,
see, I'm watching Shervin watch this, and he's seeing what you're saying backstage, and I'm hoping he'll go and do this because we're having him come on in a couple of minutes. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. So, what's exciting is I already have one candidate who is going through all 5 gauntlets. They already did 3, and Armani Oakley in New Jersey 10. We're going to be launching her first gauntlet at the early next week, and she just launched last Tuesday. So basically, so for example, the Israel versus Palestine issue it's a very touchy issue, and a lot of times it's not addressed, but that is in our foreign policy gauntlet, and that's one of the many topics that's there. And I think one of the benefits of the People's Gauntlet is not only are you hearing the candidate articulate their thoughts, and I want them to genuinely give how they feel. Maybe they're not for something, maybe they are for something, but we want to not be tricked as a voter listening to, and as we give money, as we volunteer, we want to really know how the candidates feels on all of these different topics. And the most important thing is you can see their charisma, you can see how they articulate the issue, and is it more believable? Do you believe this person, other? And there might be certain races where there's 4 progressives. So now you can really choose and you have more information than just going.
He's not talking about Florida people. Calm down. It's not happening. Anyway.
Anyway. So basically, and also you want to know that when they get into Congress, not only are they voting for Medicare for all, but they're able to convince others. You know, we might need to pull over some moderate Democrats. And I don't know if we will ever get a Republican, but hey, if somebody could bring over a Republican, that would be a miracle. But we want to see their leadership skills as they talk about the issues.
That's awesome.
Case, it was a real pleasure. Guys, peoplesgauntlet.com, check it out. We will definitely have you back soon, my friend. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you so much. Have a great one.
You too.
Thanks for watching. If you want to support our mission to transform politics into service, please like this video, subscribe, follow us on social media, and consider joining our Patreon, where you'll get early access to our interviews as well as other exclusive content. Links are in the description. Peace out.